Hi everyone and welcome to today's video on summarizing data numerically. Yes, if you are new and you are looking for information on summarizing data numerically, then this is the video for you. What am I going to deal with? Mean, median, mode, range, and how to find this from ordered data. Is this the video? Then stick with me. I am MaffsGuru, Darren otherwise known to the world, and it's really good to have you here. Now, if you are new to my channel, can you do me a favor? Can you subscribe? There is a red arrow over there that basically says to you, subscribe. I am a little person doing a big job. Yes, one person trying to record maths for the whole world, and it isn't easy. So your support greatly appreciated. But you don't want to know all that stuff. You are here to try and work out what on earth this lesson is all about. And as if by magic, straight above me is in fact a red arrow telling you that we are in fact going to look at mean, median, mode and range and how to find these for sets of ordered data. Now you may have done this before. This video is currently for year 8 students and probably the students I teach. And if you're out there watching, really, really good to see you. Hopefully my brand of mathematical mystery and oddities will keep you watching. Now, I always like to recap because there's no point doing new stuff unless we know what it's building on. And in the last lesson, if you remember, we looked at numerical data and categorical data, and we wanted to know the difference between them. So categories, things like eye colors, the states of Australia, gender, these are all categorical data. Why? Because they're described by words. We can't measure them. They don't have an order of importance. I can't turn around and say that males are more important than females and vice versa. So that was categorical data. Numerical, well, numbers, yes. And we decided that numbers could be both discrete, which was whole number values, unless it's shoe sizes, then it's 6.5, whole new discussion, or continuous, stuff that can be measured to a decimal place. Now, obviously, categorical data, I just said there, we cannot put in an order. We can't say that Victoria is first and, you know, New South Wales is next. Oh, bit of a debate. But with numerical data, we can. And the great thing about numerical data is we can do mathsy stuff to it. We can add it together. We can subtract it. We can multiply it. We can do all sorts of exciting things. Now, why on earth would we need to do this? Well, in many cases in mathematics, we want to know what the average is. You know, what's the average height? What is the average weight? Why would we need to know this? Well, believe it or not, like clothes. Imagine if you're a fashion designer and you're trying to design dresses for the world. Well, look around you. Look at your parents. Look at your brothers and sisters. Look at all the people you go to school with. We all come in different heights, different sizes. Some people have bigger bodies, others don't, blah, 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 blah. Trying to make dresses would be really, really hard on making trousers or shirts. And so we try and work out, you know, and put people into averages. And there's lots of ways of working out averages. We call them measures of center. And if that's not a film title, nothing will be. And so one of those measures of center is the mode. And ladies and gentlemen, what do we notice about the word mode and most? Well, they begin with the M-O, and so it is my M-O, homies, that mode and most common mean the same thing. And the great thing about English language is they can actually help us. We know the first 2 letters of mode and the first 2 letters of most are the same, and so mode is most. But how do we use that in mathematics? Well, a good example will help us, and here is an example here. Find the mode of the following numbers. So we've been given 5, 31, 12, 47, 21, 65 and 12. And it's asking you which is the most. Which number are there most of? And hopefully you are screaming at the screen, Mr. Smith, Maths Guru Darren, please, it's 12. And absolutely it is that simple. You are looking through a list of numbers to find the one that is the most common. And so I would happily write here, mode is equal to 12, and my teacher would give me a tick and a smiley face, and we would have got 100% in an exam, if only that was the case. So mode is one of them. What's the next one? Range. Now, At Home on the Range is a bit of a song, and it's for some strange reason about cowboys and stuff, but probably not going to sing that now. What on earth is range? Well, things are getting slightly different, slightly more difficult, he says, with his teeth in. So what is the range? The range is maths is the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. And did you hear what I said there? The difference. Now that's one of those words that Barry tries to confuse us. Difference means just take them away. So what I'm trying to do is I know that the range is equal to the largest number, take away the smallest number. That's literally it. Now, in many cases, life is made easier if we put the numbers that we've been given in order. And can you see at this moment in time that these numbers here are not in order? So I'm going to write them in numerical order. So what would we have? We'd have 5, 12, 12, what would be next? 21, 31, 47 and 65. Now what I'm going to do is just check that I've got the right number of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So having done that quick count and that quick check, the chances of me making a mistake are probably fairly slim. Thumbs up. So is it now easier with these in order to find my largest number? Well, I should go. My largest number in that situation is 65 and my smallest number is equal to 5, and so my range is 60. Now what does the range show us? It's what we call a measure of spread. It's about how spread out the data is. Yes, if I didn't have this 65 and I looked at that 47, then I'd know that my range would be 42. The numbers are closer together because 42 is smaller than 60. So range is great. It tells us how spread out the data is. Let's get a little bit more harder, he says, with really bad grammar, and we talk about the median. Median. My goodness, that sounds like a strange number. That sounds like a word. Well, let's go back to clothes manufacturers, ladies and gentlemen. And those people who make clothes will come in all sorts of sizes. And what are those sizes? Small, medium, medium, median. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly how I remember it. If we look at median and medium, then they are sounding very the same. Sounding very, very much the same. And so median and medium, if I go and buy a medium at the clothes store, then hopefully I'm going to buy the middle size. So median and middle are the same. Yay, middle. Thank you very much. And they say maths is hard. Ha! So let's look at this one here. What is the median of the following numbers? Now, what am I going to do there? Well, I can look for the middle number. So 5 and 12 and 31 and 65 and 12 and 21. And so 47 is my median. Thank you very much. And I have just made a horrible, horrible mistake. Why have I made a mistake? Because with statistics and data, you always have to put the numbers in order first. So actually, this would have been a horrible mistake. So maths being a trick, you've got to put these in order first. So once again, I'm going to go 5, 12, 12, nope, not 31, nice try, 21, 31, 47 and 65. Just checking again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data items. They are now in order, and what am I going to do? I'm going to find the middle one. Now you may not have fully understood what I did a moment ago, but the easiest way to find the middle number is cross 1 off of each end as you get closer and closer to the center. So 1 off the end, 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 and what do you notice? I have my middle number as 21. So in this situation, my median would be equal to 21. Median, again, so that's another type of average. That's a sort of middle number, sort of average-ish. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, hold on a moment, Maths Guru. What if my numbers were 5, 12, 12, 21, 31, and 47? Well, what we notice is if we cross them off and go to the center, I have 2 numbers in the middle. And that's perfectly acceptable. We cannot say that our median is 12 and 21. That doesn't work, sadly. What we have to do is we have to find the number that sits halfway between them. Now, how on earth do we find a number that's halfway between? Well, if I have the numbers 1 and 3, what's halfway between? 2. I know, not difficult maths, but how did you know that? Well, we just know. But what about if I had the numbers 3 and 29? What's halfway between 3 and 29? Well, your brain's not going to jump straight to the answer. If it has, congratulations, you're very lucky, you're special, leave it that way. But actually the best way to find the middle between 2 numbers is add the numbers together and then divide it by 2. So 29, 30, 31, 32, and half of 32 is 16, and so I would know that 16 is my middle number. Let's just check. What is 1 plus 3? It's 4, divided by 2 gives me 2, which was my middle number. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if I wanted to do this, I would do 12 plus 21 divided by 2, which gives me 33 divided by 2. And actually, in this situation, because it's not a nice number to divide, I could either leave it as 33 over 2, or I can call it 16.5. So there's a lot there with regards to medians, but hopefully all the questions you end up doing will have a median in the middle. And then the last one, the one that I find absolutely freaking awesome, is the mean. Now, lots of people who know me say, you know what, MaffsGuru, you're pretty mean. No, I'm not. I'm just honest. Well, maybe a little bit mean occasionally, but just to get the best out of people. And of course, this guy here, the Grinch, is probably the meanest of them all. Although the latest movie was amazing. The latest cartoon was absolutely awesome. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Now, the mean is another way of finding the average, the middle value, okay? And we actually, like Barry tries to confuse us, we have the word average and mean meaning the same thing. So to take the mean of a set of numbers, it is really, really simple. We just have to write this down in our summary book or remember it. So what you do is you add all the numbers together and divide the answer by how many numbers there are. Okay, so add all the numbers together and then divide by how many numbers there are. Cool. We need to be careful about outliers, but we'll come back to outliers in just a moment. So let's have a look at finding the mean of these numbers. So to find the mean, which is also equal to the average, I add all those numbers together. So I'm going to do 5 plus 31 plus 12 plus 47 plus 21 plus 65 plus 12, and then I'm going to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Off you go, put that into your calculator and see what you get. Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll wait. It's fine. Keep going. No. Now, if I was to ask you all to write in the comments below the number you got, I imagine many of you would have got all sorts of different answers depending on the calculator you used. Now, I know when I did this for my group, and hey guys, if you're watching, we got 16 different answers. It was the most random thing in the world. I have no idea why. But what I do know is that if I entered the above line on a basic scientific calculator, one of those ones where you have the whole display where you just write it in one line, you will definitely get the wrong answer. The reason being is this end bit here. Your calculator does not know that you want the answer. You want all of those things added together before you divide it by 7. What your calculator will do is do 5 plus 31, plus 12 plus 47, plus 21 plus 65, and then add 12 divided by 7. It will do the 12 divided by the 7, not the whole thing. So how do we do our calculator to tell us? Well, we either write all of this in brackets, and brackets are awesome because what it does is it tells the calculator to do all of this thing first. So I could put those in brackets and then divide by 7, or I can put those in brackets or leave them, press the equal sign, and I will get an answer. Then on my calculator, I say answer divided by 7, and I'll get whatever answer it is I'm hoping to do. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the actual answer is here. You have a go at it on your calculator. Check, check, check again. And basically, the core part of this lesson is done. Mean, median, mode, and range, measures of summary statistics or measures of center or whatever else, we are done. You could theoretically answer questions now at a year 7, year 8, year 9, and a year 10 level. Anywhere you see mean, median, mode, and range, you can now do that so long as you understand the data. A lot of people say to me, well, how does this get more challenging? Well, there are lots of different ways of expressing data. One of them we had here, and that was nice. We just had numbers in a row, 5, 31, 12, 47. But we can throw spanners in the works. This is Barry being difficult again. What about this? How does this show? Well, now we're obviously talking about tennis. Love it. Thank you very much. And what we're saying is, in the first match, we got 11 aces. In our second match, we got 18 aces. Our third match, we got 11 aces. And so when the question says, how do we find the median number of aces? We're looking at those numbers in the aces. So my numbers were 11, 18, 11, 17, 19, 22, 23, and 12. And the question says, find the median. Well, that's okay, cross one off the end, cross, stop. No. First thing we have to do is put them in order. So we get 11, cross it through, 11, cross it through. Why do you think I'm crossing it through? Well, it makes it easier for me to keep track of which numbers I've already used and which numbers I have left to use. So there we go, we now have it in order. So I'm going to cross one off the end, 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 and I've got those two numbers in the middle. But that's okay, we know what to do with these two numbers in the middle. We add them together, so 17 plus 18, and divide them by 2. So my median is going to be 17 and a half. Now you may turn around to me and say, but hold on a moment, I know what's halfway between 17 and 18. Did I have to do this, add together and divide by 2? No. If you know the answer in your heart of hearts, then write it down. Just make sure you don't make a silly mistake. What about the following data? All right, that's lovely. 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4. They're not always going to write it like that. They'll try and trick us. So lots of numbers in the list is awesome. But what about this if I have a table? Now, normally you, like we've done in the last example, you might say, oh, I know the numbers are 4, 3, 0, 1, 2, and 2. But sadly not. The context of the question, what the question is telling us, actually means our data is going to be written out in a different way. So, for example here, number of saves is 0, number of games is 4. So the question is, if they say find the median number of saves, find the median number of saves, this is what we've got here. We've got to look at that data there. Now again, it's not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is how many zeros do you see? I'm going to cross you through. Well, 4 games were 0, so 1, 2, 3, 4 games were 0. 3 games had 1 save. 1, 2, 3 games. No games had 2 saves, so I don't need to write that in. 1 game had 3 saves. 2 games had 4 saves. And 2 games had 5 saves. Now again, it's not immediately obvious, but that's part of what you have to do. You're the human being here and have to try and work out, well, what are the numbers I'm trying to write? Trying to find the median now, cross 2 numbers off the end, 2 numbers off the end, 1 number off the end, and halfway between 1 and 1 is in fact 1. And so, ladies and gentlemen, writing data in different ways, Barry tries to trick us, you have to try and work it out. And the last thing I'm going to say is, well, what happens if we take our data and add numbers to it and take numbers away and whatever else? Well, I started off by trying to use these as an example, but I actually found an easier one. So I'm going to use the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Something nice and easy, all right? So here is my original data. And what I want you to do is, using those numbers, work out the mean, the median, the mode, and the range, okay? So, actually, let's just put 2 more numbers on. 5 and 6. Let's just do that, okay? So, what is my median? We like the median. The median is the one in the middle, and automatically I can see that the median is going to be 4. What is my mode? Well, we know the mode is the most common, so that's 5. What is my range? Well, the range is the biggest number. Take away the smallest number. My biggest number, as you can see, is 6. My smallest number is 1. So again, my range is 5. And what is my mean? Well, we need to try and work that out. So that's 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, 10, 20, 26. So I've got all my numbers added together, give me 26. And I've got to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that's not very nice at all, thank you very much, because 26 divided by 7 is not a nice number. So what I'm going to do is just load up my calculator and go 26 divided by 7 equals, and that gives me 3.71 rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, so that's my original data. Now I want to see what happens when I add 5 to each of those original data items. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to say new, and I'm going to add 5 to each of those data items. I'm going to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, and 11. So every single one of these numbers I've added 5 onto. So the question is, what now happens to my median, my mode, my range, and my mean? So my median, middle number, has become 9. But what was my median before? It was 4, so it was 4 and it's gone to 9. That's 5 bigger. Whoa! What about my mode? What was my most common number? In this case, it's 10. But what was it before? It was 5. Whoa! 5 plus 5 is 10. What about my range? My range was 5. I've got 11 take away 6, which is 5. Whoa! My range stayed the same. Now, the reason it stayed the same was I added the same number of numbers onto all of my lists. So all it did was it moved the list up. It didn't make it wider. It didn't make it narrower. It took the original numbers and moved them up. Because it didn't make it wider, my range stayed the same. And if I was to work out my mean, I'm telling you now, it would come out to be 8.71. Why would it come out to be 8.71? Because absolutely everything other than the range changes by having 5 added on. Now this only works if you do this to every single number. If you take every number and add the same number on, that's what you get. What happens if I was to take the numbers and double them? So let's say the second lot of new numbers, and what would we have? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10, and 12. What would my let's say what would my mode be? Well, my mode is 10. What was my original mode? My original mode was 5. But because I've doubled all my numbers, my mode has doubled as well. What about my range? Well, it was 12 take away 2, which is also 10. What was my range before? It was 5. Now, when I added to all of my numbers, the range didn't change. But when I times, the range stretched all my numbers out. Stretch it out twice as much. And if you were then to go on and find my median, which is 8, and my mean would come out to be 7.42, what you notice is that when I multiply every single number in my list by the same number, then the mean, the median, the mode, and the range all get multiplied as well. When I add on, then my median, my mode, and my mean all change, but my range stays the same. Well, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness gracious me, it is very much the end of this lesson. It feels like it went on a long time, and I'm sorry about that. There's a lot of stuff in here. But what do you need to know? You need to know the mean, the median, the mode, and the range, and how to calculate it. Well, I'm pretty much done here for this lesson. There's lots more to come for this Year 8 course. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you haven't already done so, can you do me a favor? In just a moment, there will be a button all the way over on the other side of the screen that will say subscribe. It's a little circle of my MaffsGuru logo. If you aren't going to subscribe, don't worry about it. If you can then watch another video or like this video or leave a comment below, I'd be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, it's been good seeing you. I look forward to seeing you next time. MaffsGuru, out.